All right, welcome to our heart to heart discussion. I'm Cheryl Jackson. I have once again my good friends. Listen, I told Sine that they are a part of the fiber of our station right now, and I'm really excited about it. I'm here with my friends from American Financial Network, and of course, you've heard us talking with Sine Baldwin initially. So, Sine is a mortgage officer at American Financial Network. Welcome, 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 Sine.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Cheryl. Thank you for having me back again.
It's my pleasure. Rodell Etika Anderson is also back with us. And we had a great time talking and getting a bunch of information from them the last time. Welcome back, Rodell.
Hey, how are you, Cheryl? Thank you for having me again.
And we have on now. You broke up our Black Girl Magic, Lloyd, but that's all right. You're welcome to be a part of our heart-to-heart discussion. We've got Regional Manager Lloyd Grant with us tonight. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's everybody?
Good, good. I believe this is going to be another great conversation. The last time we talked, I got so many texts and calls and even listeners calling the next day saying, give me that number again. Even after we do our interviews on air, I love that the audience is hearing what we have to say in this volatile market, right? A lot going on with our interest rates and that kind of thing. But the silver lining is that if people are interested in purchasing a home, it doesn't matter that the rates are what they are, because we have to start the process. And I love that American Financial Network has a process, has a way that even if you have bad credit, you can get that thing started. So I think we have a lot of great information to share tonight. To those who are watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, even if you're watching on our website at praisedc.com, you know that you can leave your questions and we'll pose those questions to our people today and to our experts today. Not only that, but I'm asking that you share, especially if you know someone who needs to refinance or who wants to get into a home or may need some help with their credit, right? We've got answers tonight. When I talk about building wealth, when I talk about sharing this kind of information absolutely free, man, this is such a great conversation, I believe, that's going to be had. So don't y'all agree?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So listen, so our heart-to-heart discussion tonight is going to be set up so that you can help build wealth in your family, so that you can get into a home, so you can build your credit, so that your interest rates won't be as crazy even in this market. I think the conversation is great to have. So we're going to jump right in. And we're going to pose the first question to you, Lloyd. Let's talk about some of the loan products that's available at American Financial Network.
Okay. We have a slender of products. We have so many. I'll start off with like the basic programs that most lenders have, but our support system is really great, and we're doing really fast closings. We have the traditional FHA mortgage for your purchase. It's just 3.5% down if your credit score is 580 or above. If you have lower than 580, then you would have to put 10% down. We actually go all the way down to 500 credit score on a purchase for FHA financing. What's great also, we're doing FHA refinance, cash out for debt consolidation as well. And you only need an actual 580 credit score for that as well. Most times the underwriters want you to be at like 620. So we'll just work with it. I'm really a credit repair specialist, so I can help get everyone's credit score up pretty good. And then we have the FHA, we have the traditional conventional loans as well. What we also do have for FHA for purchase or for refinance is the 203K portion, where you rehab your house, where you're rehabbing your house through actually getting the loan as well. And we can go into more detail about that as well for anyone that wants to shoot out and give me a call or email. Then we also have conventional financing as well. We have conventional financing for purchase and refinances also. And the credit score for that is actually down to 580. Most lenders for conventional are around 620, 640, 660. So because AFN is a pretty large company, they just have a lot of different support systems to be able to give more products. We do the conventional refinances. We do the conventional purchase as well. I'm actually working on a conventional refinance. Most times the debt ratio. So basically explaining about debt ratio. Let's say, for instance, you make $5,000 a month. Most times with your mortgage and all your debt, you only can go to about $2,500 a month, which is 50%. We actually have a product that I'm actually working on right now with one of my refinances. It's called it's a conforming refinance home possible loan through Freddie Mac, and she's actually at 60% debt ratio. So and she's getting cash out as well. So, and paying off all her bills. So she's on a fixed income, so it really helps her out in that magnitude.
What is that? What's that loan entail?
It's just a regular. It's just like a regular loan. I got her. She's retired, so I just got her Social Security, her pension, her last 2 bank statements, and that's it. It's already in underwriting. Miss Rodell put it in underwriting in about 2 minutes after I submitted it to her.
Absolutely.
Wow.
We're going really fast on all these different loans that we're doing.
Yeah.
That's pretty encouraging, especially for those who are on a fixed income, to know that you have all of those products. I want to start from the beginning, right? I want to start from the beginning. What is the process, Sine? How do you start the loan process for somebody who's just starting out? I told you that the last time when my husband and I purchased our house, we were totally green.
Yeah.
We just know we had stable income. We know that, we have been working on our credit score. We had no idea how to get started. We went into a builder and tried to find the best loan we could find. We ended up with 2 different loans. One was a balloon. It was so crazy, our first process. So for those who are listening and they need to go through this process, tell us how the loan process works.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing you would do is, visit my website, as you can see actually at the bottom of the screen, or give me a call, 301-919-5221. You guys will see that actually located right down at the bottom. I would then walk you through our 1003 application, which consists of your personal information, which is, your current housing address, your prior 2-year work history, your total available liquid assets, and a manner in which title will be held. This process typically takes about 10 minutes, and it's the most important part of the process. Once the application is completed, I would then forward you a email requesting the verification and documentation to support your completed 1003 application. Additionally, I would then schedule a callback time within 24 hours to ensure all requested items have been attained and reviewed. And then I will review your credit report to ensure all accuracies. And for any reason you don't meet our minimum credit score requirements, I would then provide, credit counseling. Lloyd mentioned, he's a credit expert. We work hand in hand with your credit to be able to get you to that, FICO score of the requirements that is needed. I would then go line by line with you on your credit report to see what liabilities you need to be paid and or to see if any new accounts need to be open in order to boost your FICO score in order for you to meet your minimum score requirements. Like, for instance, I have a lady now who put her credit report and she has some things on her credit. She's just shy about 12 points in meeting their requirements. And it's a couple liabilities she has to pay off. So I was able to review her report, look at those liabilities, tell her what liabilities need to be paid. She just sent me an email an hour before the show started to say, I paid them off. I'm done. I paid off my liabilities. I am ready. So, exactly what I told her of how to pay the liabilities, she executed that. And now she's in position to start getting her home process process started.
You know what I love about this is because in the news, they're talking about how interest rates are high, they're record number high, and that kind of thing. And so for a number of people, they're afraid, right? And I know I'm deviating a little bit, but they're afraid to get this process started. What would you say to that person, Lloyd?
When I started in the industry quite some time ago, the
Interest rates were worse than this, right?
the interest rates were 9, 10, 12. And and a lot of the products were like a 228 product, meaning it was a 2-year fixed loan ARM. So it was the rates are still in a good range to keep your payments low. But if you think about like your high interest credit cards, the cars, Discover, all of these different credit cards out there were all over 20%. Even sometimes,
Absolutely.
even if your credit score is high, they're still 20%. I'm like, we need to get that paid off, because yes, your interest rate may be low on your house, but if you're getting swallowed up from all the other high interest, it's probably be very beneficial for you to do a refinance to get the cash out to pay it off.
That's so good. I just wanted to reiterate that because somebody would say, well, now is not the time, right, to purchase. And I really wanted to debunk that, even at the top, that it is the time, especially because, like Sine said, let's review everything right now, right, and start the process. Just as though the interest rates have inched up a bit, they're going to drop eventually.
And rent has gone up. You're paying all this rent.
Come on.
Yeah, you're paying all this rent. If you pay $2,500 a month, what's that? $30,000 a year that you're paying for somebody else's house.
And my mortgage payment is a lot less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mortgage, and granted, we've been in the house for a minute, right? And but my mortgage payment is less than that. So when I see people paying rent over $2,100 a month, I kind of cringe, because I'm like, you could really own a home.
It's more money away.
Rent.
Yeah. And you just don't realize how quick that money leaves. You renew the lease because they're putting pressure on you to renew, and you're afraid to take that extra step. And all it is a quick call, a quick email. Just give me a call, 240-988-7223. I'll help you out. I'll get you through that mental hurdle that you have.
Right. And a lot of people are afraid, right, Sine? A lot of people are afraid because they don't want to pull their credit report. They don't want to face the fact, you know what I mean, that they might be in a financial crunch. But you got to start somewhere to get out of it. And what I love about American Financial Network is that you guys literally take the client by the hand. You take and you're believers, so you have this ethic about you that you're not there to just get their money, but you really are there to make sure that they can get through this process, right? And if they get into a house, if they get this loan, you've already helped them fix their credit, then guess what? They can get almost anything else in the world. You can now furnish your home. You can now do all these things. And like you said, credit card interest rates are so high right now. The better your credit score, the best interest rate you'll get. So you got to start somewhere. I guess that's the point that I'm trying to make.
Absolutely. By providing the tools to others, you can be able to guide them in the right direction to be able to be a homeowner. I mean, it's extremely important to learn how to not be in a financial rut, especially, when you have us to be able to help you to be able to see what's on your credit report, to get you in position to get a home. I mean, when you get a home, wealth, who don't want wealth? The more money that you're spending on rent, you're throwing away. You're not gaining anything. When you become a homeowner, you're gaining something. You have a lot of things you can look forward to. So it's super imperative to be able to, get in position and allow us to help you and coach you through the process to become a homeowner.
That's pretty dope. I like that our viewer, Karen Better, said Lloyd is the real deal. Co-signed it for you, Lloyd.
Hey. I'm just adding in with the lovely ladies that I'm on the camera with. So I got to bring something to the table.
We had to add a little testosterone to the mix.
Absolutely.
Got to bring a little bit to it.
Absolutely. But I love it. Again, the last time we talked, both Sine and Rodell talked about, their purpose and why they are here, Lloyd, to do what they do, right? Like the mission behind it has to make you feel good when you're able, like you said, to close on a loan for someone who has a fixed income, or to help somebody get the keys to their home, or to rebuild their financial portfolio because their credit score has now inched up 30 points or 40 points. It has to feel good. Any one of you guys can jump in on that.
Well, it feels good, when you help, particularly like that mother or those parents with children who, like you mentioned, Cheryl, just really don't understand that they have the ability to buy. It's this intimidation that credit, especially credit that's not so favorable as far as it's concerned, to be able to tell someone like, no, it's not that bad. We can assist you and guide you and hold your hand and get you to the keys of your home. It's so rewarding to see the results of that, that those children like sitting at the closing with their parents or their mother and saying, wow, I've got my room. This is our ownership. So it's great. And even with refinancing, the interest rates are high and they can be intimidating, but, there's creative ways that we approach things, and we wear many hats, from credit repair to ultimately being able to play a role to a small extent of investors. For me personally, many years ago, when Yahoo just came about, I had my home, and my husband and I were able to build equity in the home to the point where we refinanced. And although the interest rate was slightly higher and the monthly payment grew by about $150, that cash out we pulled, we did the smart thing. We invested in Yahoo when it was just a startup, and quadrupled our money so quickly that not only the $25,000 we put into Yahoo came back, we were able to chip the loan down, our mortgage loan down, and refinance against a even smaller mortgage payment. So there's things that we guide people to say, you know what, you have student loans, you have this sort of that, even credit cards. So the average person having 5 or 6 credit cards with a total of maybe $1,500 monthly payments on those cards. When you look at the logic to say, well, interest rate is higher, and my monthly payment will go up by $100 or $200, give or take. But that $1,500 monthly payment that I carry in these total credit cards, I now have been able to pull the cash out of my equity, pay those cards off, and still come up on top with a less monthly total in terms of money that's going out of the pocket. So there's different ways to be creative, and not be intimidated by the higher interest rates, so-called, kind of thing. So
that's so good. Looking at the big picture, right? And having a plan in place. Because, Sine, how many times will a person refinance when they have a home? Because that's how you build wealth. When you build the equity in your house, you're going to refinance over and over again. And you're going to refinance to the point where you're going to you can get a better interest rate, or you can shorten the term of your loan. As your income gets better, your house can really help you build. Take that equity, as Rodell said, and invest it. Save it. Get rid of some of the bills that you have. You can't do that with a rental property
at all. All your money is sitting on rental property, just thrown away.
I like it. Okay. Y'all got me stirred up. Listen, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, we want to hear from you. If you have questions for Sine, if you have questions for Lloyd, if you have questions for Rodell, you see my dog in the frame. She's trying to get my attention. And if you have questions, then post it on our Facebook page, post it on our YouTube page, so that you can talk to the experts. Whatever the question is, we want to be able to pose that for them, right? Maybe you're renting right now and you don't think that you can do it. let them tell you how you can do it. Okay. Check out all of the information that's scrolling at the bottom. You've got their website. I mean, you've got their websites, you've got their phone numbers, and Rodell knows the tricks of all the different programs that they have and all the different ways that she can help you get in these homes. All right. So this one's to you, Rodell. Why should I consider a refinance or debt consolidation? Somebody has a home right now, has never considered it. Let's talk about it.
Kind of similar to what I was just referencing. The interest rates are slightly higher, but you can use that to your advantage to ultimately, the bottom line is you want to pay the lowest you can monthly collectively for car payment, for credit cards, for all of your debt. So consolidating all of your debt is advantageous, especially if your total, the end result is lower than what you're paying now. And there's other reasons as well. You've got children that are going to college. You have emergencies that come up. For me, like I said, we were smart about things. We invested the money. It wasn't for any particular reason. It was a gamble that we took, and it paid off tremendously. So there's a matter of what your needs are, how much equity you have in the property, and having the best monthly outcome. And so we guide you to get that after increasing the credit score to its maximum that we can do. We want to get you the best interest rate period with your FICO score that you have, sort of thing.
That's pretty dope. And so one of the things we were able to do, because we owed the IRS a large number, we were able to pay off all of that. Everything by refinancing our home, we were able to pay off all of that IRS debt, get that off our back. Because we were homeowners. We did this ago because we're homeowners, right? And the better like I said, the better our income got, then we were able to get a shorter term loan. Because we're people of a certain age. We want the house paid off at a certain point. So we were able to get that done. It's so much financial leverage you'll have as a homeowner. And that's what I want to reiterate. And I love that, that even though interest rates have inched up a bit, that shouldn't stop you from starting the process. Hey, Gwen Murphy. Okay, that's my friend Gwen. She says, what type of investments did you choose? She talked about investing in Yahoo. Yeah. But you could give your own testimony again.
Yeah, and it's key to kind of look at the blue chip stocks, if you will, and sometimes those are so out of reach. They're the Goliaths that are so expensive per share, but a lot of those companies split. Recently, Google has split, Amazon has split, Tesla has split, and so ultimately, in a nutshell, what that means is that $3,000 a share that it typically was, it gets to the point where these big companies have, their cup runneth over, if you will, that they're at the point where they're like, you know what, we have made so much, we're going to open the floodgate for the small guy, for us folks down there who can't afford $3,000 a share, if you will. And when it splits, you want to keep your eye out. You want to Google search for stocks that are in the market to split, blue chip, the big boys, kind of thing, Coca-Cola's and, the major stock, McDonald's, and they often split. Not often, but maybe once every few years, they just decide to throw us a bone, if you will. And when they do that, definitely grab it. I just recently bought Amazon for $122 a share. This is a stock that was like $3,200 a share, and they split and started from scratch. And gives the opportunity for folks to just come on in with a refinance, pull some cash out, and set your college tuition up for your children. This is the kind of thing that's long-term. I have forgotten about the Amazon stock at this point. I bought enough to know that my 9-year-old, by the time she hits, 12th grade graduation, her college tuition is squared away because it's going to go up to $3,500 again a share. We know it's going to do what it does, kind of thing. So yeah, just start researching the blue chip stocks and looking at when they split.
Hey, Vita Brooks watching from San Jose. Appreciate you. Yvette Washington, I see you as well. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And of course, if you have questions, if you're a homeowner and you want to do some debt consolidation, they have a 14-day refinance plan that we're going to get into. Not only that, if you're a first-time home buyer and you need to get into a home and maybe your credit isn't what it's supposed to be, they are credit specialists too. Come on here. You got the whole package. You got the whole package from start to finish. You have no excuse, because I hear it. I see you. Oh, I can't afford that. Oh, I just moved out of my mama's house. Oh, I can't. You can, and you can by starting the process, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Here you go, Lloyd. Do you offer down payment assistance? Because somebody else is saying, well, I don't have the extra income to put a down payment on a project, on a product.
Yes, we offer several down payment assistance programs. All of the down payment assistance programs is a minimum credit score of 600. So you're right there. If you're not there, you just give me a call or email me or text me at my 240-988-722 number, and I'll help you boost your credit. It'll probably take a month at the most to boost your credit score to get you there for the down payment assistance programs. And it covers the entire down payment. So all we have to do is work with the seller to get some closing cost help. The sellers are now giving closing cost help again. Is kind of shifting back to a buyer's market. One of my loan officers, he just got 6% financing, which is from the seller, which is the max for FHA. I got on one of my personal loans, 5% is closing next week. Sellers help. So now the sellers are starting to, and Sine actually has one where it's 4%.
Yep.
For one of her files she just put in
Yep.
on a purchase. So it's shifting back to a buyer's market. So when it's a buyer's market, when it was a buyer's market, I've been doing the down payment assistance programs for years. I would literally get people in the door with $100, $50 because the down payment is covered, and I got the seller to pay everything. So all the closing costs. So it's shifting back to that. It's not going to happen every single time, simply because some sellers have a good property, or they need the extra money. They can't afford to pay the realtors and everybody else and your closing costs. So if you actually have your closing costs, we'll take care of the down payment. And actually we have in some counties, we can actually help with closing costs on top of the down payment assistance. So it's just depending on where you're trying to buy. Like I said, just give me a call and I'll definitely help you through the process.
Because that's the awesome thing. Everybody's situation is different, and you guys will tailor it based on everybody's situation. I remember when we first, I see that question. I'll get right to that. I remember when we first started, purchasing, our home, we tried to do all the research ourselves. I remember, and because we've been in our house now for about 23 years, right? But I remember going to the library. People don't do that anymore. I remember, buying books, like trying to learn the process myself. It's just like if I said to you guys, all right, I need you to write your scripts and voice your commercials. You're going to say, well, where do I start? Right. And you go try to, because that's my profession. This is your profession. And you guys know from start to finish as experts what we need. That research was crazy because I couldn't understand the language. I didn't know the lingo. I didn't understand the process. But when you have somebody like Lloyd and Sine and Rodell in your corner, they can walk you through that process. You don't have to try to figure it out, and you don't have to worry about whether they're trying to get over on you. Their whole idea is to help you get into your home and get yourself in a better financial situation. All right. Gwen Murphy asked this question. This is good because we talked about the loan, Lloyd, that you just did for a senior, but and the reverse mortgage is not the only program for retirees, right? But her question is, what about seniors who may want to do a reverse mortgage?
That question is for Lloyd?
Or Sine, either one, or Rodell. Anyone, if you guys can jump on that.
I'll answer that. So she's looking for like a reverse mortgage.
Yeah, she says, so what about seniors? Because we talked about, I guess, some of the other programs, but I remember you talking about somebody who was on a fixed income that you introduced a whole different program based on their income, which was better for them. But her question was, what about programs that are for seniors who wants a reverse mortgage? Can you guys help with that?
Yes, we can help with that. Basically, the way the normal reverse mortgage works, you just need about 50% equity in your home, and it's pretty plain and simple. It's just you just get the appraisal, we get it into our reverse division. We have a division just for reverse mortgages. So I would just get their information, get it over to our reverse division, and they will go to closing. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's just, you just have to have the equity there. So for example, if you owe 250,000, if your property is worth 500, you're a great candidate already.
Wonderful. All right, Sine, this one's for
Yeah.
you. What
Sure.
personal documents are required for a refinance or a purchase transaction?
Okay, so the first thing you would do is complete your 1003 application, which I mentioned before. And my website is located at the bottom of the screen there, along with my telephone number, the 301-919-5221. And then you will provide copy of your driver's license. These documents are extremely important. Your driver's license and our ID card, your social security card, your pay stubs covering 30 days of employment, your W-2s for the last 2 years, which would be 20 and 21, tax returns for the last 2 years if you're self-employed or work on commission, and also 2 most recent bank statements. That will be, for purchase. And also if you have, any income, whether you have disability income and or social security income as well, any other income you would like to use, child support, alimony, any of those incomes are also items that are doable. And for refinance, you will need all those items that I just mentioned, including your current mortgage statement. Doing a refinance, your current mortgage statement will show, what your current mortgage is, what your taxes, what your insurance is, homeowners association if applicable, flood insurance if applicable. I'm actually in a process right now of doing a refinance. He's been in his house for a little bit over maybe 8 years, and the house has a lot of equity in it, but he has a lot of bills. He has a lot of liabilities. Looking at his credit report, and he is just like swimming in debt. And he wants to be able to pay off those liabilities. So, doing his refinance, now he's able to get out, close to 80 grand to be able to pay off his bills and pay off the necessities. That's the important part of being a homeowner, because now he has those tools and money to be able to pay off those bills that he has now accrued. So that's extremely important. Being in a home and refinancing is important. Who don't want to pay off those bills that they have or other things they have going on, whether it's student debt or extra credit card bills or, whatever the case may be. That's super important. When you're renting, you can't do that. When you pay that rent every month, it's gone. But when you're paying your mortgage every month, you're building equity in that home. And that's important. And, that's the good thing about, purchasing and refinancing.
You're muted.
Let me text her, let her know she's on mute. Cheryl.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry, my dog was barking.
Yes.
I'll start again. And I was just going for it. I was like, yeah, right? I was like, right, y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I was saying that one of the things you can do too is put your money back into your investment, into your home. You can refinance so that you can do home improvement. You can upgrade your kitchen. You can upgrade your bathroom, your basement, put a deck on the house to make your investment a better investment. You can't do that by renting. You can do that with your investment though, especially if you build equity in your home. You could pull that money out to make it a better investment. That's pretty dope.
The
That's
time is
beautiful.
now, and Cheryl, I've had conversations with some individuals, and they like, I don't know if I want to purchase. I don't know if I have this. I'm finding, a lot of excuses opposed to allowing me to put you in that position to be a homeowner. If you've been in your home 5, 10 years, all that money, I was talking to one individual, you spend $2,700 a month. You've been there 8 years.
Wow.
Where all that money, where's that money going?
Mm.
That
Nowhere.
is sad to calculate, right? Like to go back and calculate.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
Oh, wow.
imagine if you were paying $2,700 in your own home. It's a difference. And
Mhm.
my goal is to educate everyone with the tools to make sure they are aware that stop throwing your money away. Stop making the landlord rich. Make yourself rich. Invest in yourself. Invest in purchasing a home and allowing, me to be able to, if you don't have the credit score or the requirements, it's okay. I can get you where you need to be. You give me a call, you let me know, and I can be able to get you into a home. The time is now. The time is
It starts.
now.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So if you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube and you have a question about, getting into a home, or if you have a question about, refinancing your home, they have a 14-day refinance program that you can talk to them about. And of course, all of the information for both Lloyd and Sine is streaming at the bottom. So Gwen says, I'm interested in any program for seniors who want to stay in their home. And I see that a lot too, Lloyd and Sine.
Mhm.
I see that a lot with seniors who are now struggling, like you said, and they have this fixed income. Like, how
Mhm.
can I maintain it? Like, is there programs? And you just talked about it earlier. There are programs that are
There
set.
are programs, yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
The beautiful thing is with reverse in particular and a lot of senior programs, credit and income are not the driven factors in terms of qualification. And so it really, like Lloyd said, it boils down to the equity in the property. And so if a senior has some cushion in that property, lenders negate credit score, negate income, because at the end of the day, a lot of times people are so intimidated by reverse because they think, oh my goodness, the rumor is that they lose their house at
Right.
the end of the day when that loved one, that senior passes on. Whoever's inheriting that house lost mom and dad's house. But that's not quite accurate. What happens in a lot of cases is the lender will give a period of time, typically about a year, for whoever that's inheriting that house to either refinance it to a
Refinance.
forward mortgage or
Mhm.
sell the property. A lot of times, especially in our community, there tends to be a lot of bickering when it boils down to who owns a house, who pays the property taxes when mom and dad are gone. This house was left practically free and clear or with some mortgage. And the siblings tend to not, they end up losing the house potentially if they don't have a game plan. And so what I
Mhm.
tell children of seniors who are concerned about the fixed income that their parents are on, sit down with your parents, sit down with your siblings as a family,
Mhm.
and devise a plan on who has the strongest credentialing to have this house put in their name when the loved one passes on. Because that individual that inherits the house has to be able to refinance it to qualify
Mhm.
for it. Now, coming to American Financial Network, we work with just about anyone. And
That's
so,
so good.
regardless of credential status, we're going to get you where you need to go so you can, keep the house if that's what the plan is.
Mhm.
Sometimes the plan is, hey, let's sell the house and split the proceeds. But reverse is fantastic when for individuals that are, not FICO score income driven and they just want to kind of like coast the rest of their life, keeping their money in their pocket and pulling some equity out of their house too.
Mhm. And I thought about that, and since I have you, and it's free to ask the question. I just inherited my mom's house. My brother and I just inherited her house, and it's Upper Northwest DC where we grew up, and it is our investment. The house is paid off, but of course now we want to upgrade it, right? Because we don't have central
Mhm.
air in the house right now. We have, you know what I mean? It's in great standing. We maintained it well, but of course we want to do some upgrades. Talk about some programs that even those, like you said, Rodell, who may have inherited, property, and don't want to sell because, I do have my own house. My brother is in the house that we're in, but we want to maintain that property because it's worth a lot. My mother left us a great investment. Let's talk about that real quick. That's for me.
Okay, well, Cheryl, call me at 240-988-7223.
You got me.
We'll work you through that process.
I'll say this though, and I say this a lot to people, we work so hard for our house.
Yeah.
Cheryl, you and your brother are in a position to let your house work for you.
Yeah.
The one that your mother left. I'm sure she put her sweat, tears in giving that free and clear, good equity house. And a lot of times, yes, we want to, jump into renovating so quickly. And if the property needs it, yes, I understand. But think just maximizing to say, if I'm jumping into this investment lane and I have access to all of this equity, this liquidity, I mean, there's endless possibilities of expanding. Let your house work for you. Let that house work for you, meaning maybe you can pull some equity out. Maybe you can look at some auction properties. Maybe you can let it grow more properties for you by the liquidity it gives you to play in a market that allows you to be able to purchase more. And I try to, encourage that kind of thought process, because you get a mortgage, which is fine and dandy. You refi, you fix it up, you throw some tenants in it, you're on the right track of income rental property. Expand that a little bit more.
Ooh,
Use the cash from that. Let it work for you and your brother.
Listen, y'all just did something for me. Lloyd said, call me.
Yes. Call him.
I love it. All right. So we talked about it a little bit, Lloyd. What is the minimum credit score required for refinancing and debt consolidation?
For all of our products, the main ones that we normally do, FHA, USDA, Conventional, VA, everything is right about 580. It's just depending on your situation. But most of the time, we try to get you to 620. So that way, it'll get 620 or higher, because it'll give you a more favorable interest rate. Once you start getting under that 620, the rates get a little rougher. So we want to get your score up and get you closer. But we could get you started, get the appraisal order, get your income docs, get everything moving. And then while we're doing the loan process, I can show you different ways to get your score to jump up. I do it all the time. Yep. You can check me out on Zillow. I got so many 5 stars all over the place, from helping my clients fix their credit, do different things, and get them in their homes. And now I have several clients that are now actually using the money, because they have equity in their home. They're actually pulling money out to put that as a down payment to purchase investment properties or bigger homes. So that's just huge. You can't do that when you're renting. Renting is a safety net, but if you want to, build retirement for your kids, as Ms. Rodale talked about earlier, that's, using your house as a cash cow is the best way to do it. Like when I bought my house, it was valued at, I think it was like 395, 400. Now it's over 600 some thousand, because we did all these upgrades in a house. And then I also did, how you mentioned, I lowered the term down. So I went from a 30 year, went down to a 25 year, then I took it down to a 15 year. So I'm getting up there. So I had to
same here. You know how the house.
I had to get this, trying to get this house off my back and have all the equity to play around with.
Absolutely. I mean, you can imagine, we've been in a house for 23 years, how the value has gone up. And then also in Upper Northwest. Yeah.
Wow.
And we maintain, this is the house I grew up in, right? And so because, my mom and lived in it, it was always maintained well. And same thing with my brother and sister-in-law who's in it now. We're very proud to have that in our family. And like you said, Rodale, it can work for us. Absolutely. That property can work for us. And that's what I want to leave for my children. And I'm hoping that's what our viewers want to do as well. Amber Bath has a question. She says, what is your origination fees like?
The only origination fees. Oh, is that question for me? Sorry.
Any one of you guys could jump on that.
Okay. The only fees we have from the bank, we have a processing fee that's $8.95 and an origination fee of $9.95, and that's the origination fee is really the underwriter's fee. basically,
Oh,
for
okay.
underwriting and doing all that hard work to get you approved. And
Mhm.
then your credit report, which is probably like $16 or something.
Mhm.
So that's all the fees that are being charged from us.
Mhm.
So like if you want to buy down your interest rate to try to get the rate a little bit lower, that's it's depending on the equity position in your home, your credit score, things of that nature. And then that's when it could be a charge, but it's because you're trying to make your situation better, not because it's a charge from us.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we just have to
That was a great question.
yeah, just dig into
Mhm.
your situation. Yeah.
All right, Sine. So, what if my credit score does not meet the minimum credit score requirement? Of course, we talked about how you guys can help in that area. So, let's talk a little bit more about that for those who may have just jumped on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where we, come in at. But after you completing your first step by going to my website, which again is located at the bottom of the screen, or by giving me a call, which is my number there, 301-919-5221. And after completing your initial 1003 application, and I have reviewed your credit report, and for any reason you do not meet the minimum credit score requirements of the 580, I will immediately start a 30-day credit counseling process. So our credit counseling process includes the following. Like I mentioned early on, is I would review each line on your credit report, at which time you will have the opportunity to provide me some feedback in regards to old possible collections or charge-offs or any inaccuracies on your credit report. And upon completion, you will provide me with a LOE, which is a letter of explanation, addressing each of the derogatory items. Um, in addition, I will provide you feedback going over your open trade lines to determine what the current available balance are in your credit report. So I'm working hand in hand with you, step by step. Like I mentioned before, it's a lot of people who I'm working with a credit repair company. You're in the process of trying to buy a house. Give me a call. I can be able to guide you through the process and look at your credit report and tell you, hey, this needs to be paid, that needs to be
Mm-hmm.
paid. This is where you are with your credit cards. Another thing with credit cards, like I may have mentioned before, do not exceed your balance. If they're giving you a $2,000 limit, it's not time to just go shopping and spend $1,900.
Right.
You don't want to exceed that limit. That will make your credit balance higher, and we don't want that. That's very imperative. So I'm going to be able to guide you along and let you know exactly what needs to be done. Our credit counseling process normally takes about 30 days. And after the potential borrower has completed their 30-day action plan and have agreed upon to pay all those liabilities, I would then do a rescore. So that is basically, and me outlining exactly what's on your credit report, letting ABC needs to be paid, this needs to be paid. And once that is paid, that rescore comes into effect when now your FICO score has increased, and now you are able to meet the minimum required credit score requirements for purchasing a home. So don't be afraid. Don't say, hey, I don't know what I should do. Don't find excuses. The best thing to do is to give me a call and allow me to look at your credit report to see where you are to put you in that position. The
Mm-hmm.
credit counseling, like I mentioned, it's 30 days. I'm going to pull your report. We're going to set a game plan. Like I have borrowers now who I told them exactly what needed to be done on that credit report. And they're sending me emails. Sine, this is paid. Sine, this is done. Sine, I'm ready. Sine, this. I just had to pull
Mm-hmm.
another credit risk report. Her credit score was, she was shy probably about maybe 20 points, but now her credit score had boosted over 40 points. Now
Wow.
she's in position where now, she is getting ready to be a homeowner. It's so important, guys, because when you don't want to find excuses opposed to just getting it done. It
Mhm.
doesn't hurt. It doesn't, hurt to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Sine, listen, I don't know what I need to do, but I need to do this application and I need you to pull my credit report to see where I'm at." Absolutely, I would do that,
Mhm.
to see exactly what needs to be done. It's very important.
Mhm.
And if I can say something,
True.
Mhm.
it's imperative to reach out to Sine and Lloyd when you're, especially with a credit counseling company, because a lot of times there may be a conflicting
Mhm.
issue in the sense
Mhm.
that credit counseling wants you to dispute, and they take this long road to get you
Yes.
to the finish line, and it's
Mhm.
intentionally being done for the monthly payment that you pay them.
Absolutely.
Let's not get it twisted. But on the same note, by reaching out to us and saying, "I'm in a credit counseling," we might redirect you, because ultimately some programs we have, for you to maximize the interest rate, you can't have a dispute on the credit report in terms of that status of an account. It needs to be in some kind of good standing. Good standing could be sitting there, not paid off. Good standing could be paying it off. We look at all the particulars and tell you what good standing means for the loan program that you're looking to be a part of. But a lot of these programs, all the lenders have, dispute is almost like a taboo word for some creditors. Medical, we can work around certain things, but some
Mhm.
creditors, saying that word dispute and having it be seen on your credit report ends up not necessarily benefiting you. So if you are part of a credit counseling company or program, definitely let that be known, because that's something that through the credit counseling period, we'd have to address.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback on that. So, like right now, we have a couple people that is trying to go to closing, and they have all these disputes on their credit. So immediately, what happens is that the underwriter suspends the file. That's what will happen. They'll suspend the file, say, "Hey, we need these disputes removed off the credit report." So all those disputes that people are going through the credit counseling companies for, we have to get them removed anyways to get you in a house. So it's
Wow.
always better to
Always.
start with your lender. That's me and Sine. Give me a call at 240-988-7223. You got Sine's number at the bottom. Give us a call and we'll take care of you before you invest all your money into credit counseling. If you really need it, let us guide you that way
Yeah.
before
That's
you
right.
go and just get a credit counseling, because sometimes some people may need it.
Mhm.
But if you're looking to purchase immediately, we would have to remove all the disputes because the underwriter flags it.
Yeah.
And then because disputes kind of give you a false, it gives the creditors a false score, really. So once we remove it, sometimes the scores go down. But then in the matter of it going down, I'll teach everybody some tricks and different trades to actually keep your credit score up, or actually even boost it while we're removing the disputes.
Absolutely.
And
That's
then,
awesome. That's
yeah.
the advantage. I'm glad you brought that up, Rodell. That's the advantage of this one-stop shop, right? To
Yes.
help you guys from start to finish,
Mhm.
working through the process and not doing two separate companies, two different things to make
Mhm.
it happen. That's pretty good. Thank you for bringing that out. Um, so, Etika Rodell is
All
Rodell,
right.
right? So, which creditor may I consolidate? Creditors can you consolidate in a refinance transaction?
I mean, really, it's a lot of creditors you can consolidate, from your credit cards to tax liens and things of that sort, to child support, alimony, certain things that are on the credit report. There's some limitations there, and if there is a limitation, you pull the cash out. So the short answer is any creditor, because if you can pull cash out to refinance, you can either do the liquidity or you can apply it to a creditor. Sometimes the debt to income ratio dictates that debt has to be paid in order for the loan to, work. But if that's not the case, then you pull the cash out and pay whomever or invest the money whichever way you want, sort of thing. So that's no limitation there.
I love it. So Amber had another question. Can we post that one? There we go. With a cash out refinance, do you bill the closing costs or other fees into the refinance package? Any one of you guys, either Sine or Lloyd, I guess, can jump that, or Rodell, any one of you guys can grab that.
Yes. On a refinance, we just roll the cost into the loan. So any of the closing costs, title fees, taxes, homeowners insurance, all that stuff could be rolled into a loan on a refinance.
Oh, dope.
Mhm.
That's dope.
So
That's
they
a
don't
great question too.
they don't have to come out of pocket. And then also what we can do is also, depending on when we close, they could skip a month of payment or possibly even 2 months of payments, so it'll help you that way as well.
As long as the loan is in process, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. Okay, so Gwen has another one. Who do you inform of the upgrades you've done to your home to increase the equity?
You want to answer that? Okay.
Mhm.
It's, I mean,
Yeah, the appraiser.
yeah.
The
When
appraiser.
when the appraiser comes to your home,
Mm-hmm.
they'll see the upgrades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
then
you can
they'll
have an
compare it.
appraiser come, even if you're not refinancing. You can have an appraiser come, or no.
If you're trying to get a loan through a lender,
Mm-hmm.
the
You
lender's
have to
going
get
to
an
have
appraiser.
that.
Yeah.
You're going to have an appraiser that's approved through that lender.
Mm-hmm.
If you just want to get an appraisal just to get an appraisal, of course you could just
You can do that, right?
you can do that.
Pay for it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just word to the wise, a lot of misconception is putting a chandelier in your bathroom doesn't necessarily increase the value to the extreme that you may think it does.
Exactly.
It's the comps that really dictate, along with improvements, but don't go overboard thinking that's going to give you such a edge. It sometimes really boils down to the square footage and the comparisons in your neighborhood, and of course consideration of your improvements, but they don't carry the impact or the weight that some people may anticipate. So just word to the wise on that, on how you spend on improvements.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know that a kitchen upgrade and your bathroom, but like you said, make sure you upgrade the right way.
Absolutely.
Because some of those upgrades can devalue your
Yes.
home as well. I love it. This is such great information. I'm keep muting because my dog is running around and I don't want to give y'all, because I'm still at home, right? So I don't want to give all that background noise that's going on there. So yeah, if you don't have any more questions as far as our viewers on our YouTube and our Facebook page, we're going to wrap up in just a few moments. But I want to give each of you an opportunity to share, like just, whatever it is that we may not have even talked about tonight, or just to encourage those who are viewing to give you a call and get the process started. We've been telling everybody good reasons why they should go ahead and purchase a home, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they haven't purchased a home, and why it's a good time to refinance, regardless of whether you're a senior, whether you've been in the home for 5 years. Maybe you can get a better deal, a better interest rate. Maybe you can, pull some equity out to help invest in some other areas. But the call first starts with calling Sine and Lloyd. The number is streaming at the bottom. So we'll start with you, Sine. We'll go with Lloyd, and then Rodell will finish with you to give final thoughts.
Okay, great. So, I just want to say that now is the time, guys, if you guys are, like I mentioned, if you're having issues, if you think you're having issues with your credit report, allow me to take a look at your credit report to see where you actually stand, to get you in position to be able to become a homeowner. Me being a homeowner is the best decision I've ever made. When I refinanced a couple of years ago, that was the best thing that I could have done. I was able to pay off bills and be able to, do things that I wanted to do. I'm in the process of, gaining wealth, and by me gaining wealth and having wealth, I like to be able to educate others on that. So don't be afraid. Like I mentioned before, now is the time. Give me a call. Let me see where you are with your credit. Allow me or Lloyd to, fix your credit if you think it needs to be fixed. Or, just give me a call so we can get you in a home and stop throwing money away. Stop renting. Stop making the landlords rich. We have a solution for you. So give me a call, 301-919-5221.
Wonderful. Lloyd?
Yes, just to piggyback on our earlier conversation, I just wanted to go into a couple other loan products that we have. We have like a medical doctor program. I'm just going to kind of list some of the programs, and everybody can call me afterwards. We got a medical doctor program. We have an actual 1099 only program where it's interest only on. So it's going way back, taking it back to the early days, going back to interest only. We got commercial loans, reverse loans. We have another unique loan called a debt service coverage loan. It's it's crazy, but y'all just got to give me a call on it. We have non-QM products where they don't fit the regular criterias, and we get them around it. We actually have one where you don't even need a social security number. It's called a tax ID program, ITIN. We just did a bunch of closings on bank statement loans. So bank statement loans only. So they's working on one. Miss Rodell just processed one of these crazy ones, investment, New York. So we're all over. We can help everybody in all 50 states as well. So all types of products.
And you don't know this stuff as a average consumer, you don't know all of these things. So they have the answers for you right there. Make sure you take advantage of it. And they share a lot of stuff today. Rodell?
So after you call Sine and Lloyd, you come to me, right? Once they get you all structured up, and a lot of times just some tidbit of, FYI, when you're dealing with me and I give you that list of documents that, the underwriter has reviewed your file and we've approved you, and now we need certain documents to get you to that finish line. Don't try to interpret those documents. Just reach out and get, clarity. If you need clarity, a lot of times, I may ask for a divorce decree and someone wants to give me like a card from their ex saying it's over. And it's like, of course I'm just joking, but, I just, stay true to the list that, the processing, the operations manager gives. Stay true to that, and we'll get you to the finish line very quickly that way, so yeah.
This is so good. And I'm honored that you guys would partner with Praise 104.1 to get this information out. Our listeners are loyal. Thank you, Amber.
Thank you, Amber.
Our listeners are loyal, and I thank God that we're able to provide this kind of opportunity for those who listen, those who view and watch us. I have this group I call the Praise Power Crew that hang out with me in the midday. We go live during the midday, and most of the folks that are on our stream right now are part of that from all over the country. So I'm really glad we're able to share this information. Don't forget, American Financial Network is giving away tickets to our Spirit of Praise celebration. In fact, I have tickets to give away tomorrow with them. So make sure you tune into the midday show to win that. They're going to be with us on location at the Spirit of Praise as well. So you get to ask questions up close and personal if you come to the Spirit of Praise. And so don't forget to keep listening out for that. So I think that's it. And keep listening out for all the interviews. I told you they are woven into the fabric of Praise 104.1 right now. And we are so honored to have them and to be able to share this information. Sine, Lloyd, Rodell, thank you guys so very much for this time. It's time for us to wrap up. We're a little over, but this was such a great opportunity. Such a great opportunity for us to share this information with our viewers. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight for our heart-to-heart discussion. Join me, shameless plug, in the midday tomorrow from 10 to 3 right here on Praise 104.1. Love you guys. Have a great night.